Hello there, my vintage Christmas lighting friends. This is Scott, your helpful video maker. I've had a ton of people asking me to do a video on how to relamp Paramount bubble lights. So, like this one you see here. It's taken me forever to get one done because when I get a Paramount bubble light, I relamp it immediately. So all mine are in working condition. Just to show off a little bit, I'll show off all of these. Yes, all of these are in working condition. I went through every one trying to find one that was burned out so I could show you. And you may wonder, well, why didn't you just show us how to do one that's working? So I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why. And oh, good, this one is perfect for just that. Because the more you play with these bubble lights, the more chances you take of breaking these teeth off that hold the top and the bottom half together, much like this one. It's missing 3 on the bottom here. Over time, if you realize this light bulb is always right there where those teeth are. And so the teeth and this white part of the plastic here is one of the first ones to receive heat damage. And so they just become brittle and they snap right off when you're playing with them. So my suggestion to you is you got to try to be forceful and yet delicate when trying to take these things apart. Because you'll end up snapping. I was playing with this one and look, I snapped one off already. Now, with that said, I don't mind having a broken tooth. And one of the reasons why is because having a single broken tooth, even just one, can often make it a lot easier to get this bottom off. So a close anatomy of this, let's take a quick peek. You have a top half that looks like this. And you see those little teeth? They're right there. You see them? They're up, sticking up. That's what is connected to the bottom, which this one should have a light bulb in it. But you can see how white this one is on the inside from heat damage. I think that's what that is. Anyway, I don't really care. Let's keep going. So this essentially will snap on to all of those little teeth. Let me hold it a little further away so you can see. And boom, it'll snap right on, and you push this bottom down and it goes on. So you need to get this piece off and it'll be holding a light bulb, much like this one. This is the incorrect light bulb, by the way. This must be one that I did a long time ago, and I stuck a Noma light bulb in it. Most Paramounts, if I'm not mistaken, are all round light bulbs, more like this one right here. Okay, now, again, with all this said, there can be some cheaty ways to do this. And so one of the cheaty ways is to use a Paramount Starlight, which is this right here. You see it? They also were put together the same way. You see the teeth, you see the bottom. So, you know, in my videos, I try to give you a whole bunch of little ideas to spur your mind rather than just only one way of doing something. So, actually, this one doesn't work, but I have a boatload of these that do have working light bulbs in them. And if I really wanted to cheat super fast and relamp this, I could just pop this bottom off, take a blue star with a blue base, pop it off, and just interchange. And take this bottom with this working light bulb and put it onto this one, and boom, poof, done. A guy in our group suggested that just recently. When I say group, I mean it's a Facebook group of Christmas lighting people. The name of the group is Vintage Christmas Lighting of Yesterday and Today. I always try to suggest it when I'm on here because it's a whole bunch of us horrible dweeby lighting, vintage lighting guys. Okay. So, all right. So here we go. Let's try to get back to this. You know, you often wonder why Scott's always in such a good mood. It is happy hour time here. So there's a little wine going on. And that, you know, that kind of helps loosen up the tongue so you can talk real fast and try to get a video done. Just letting you know. A lot of people say, I love how you laugh in your videos. Well, there is a good reason right here. Anyway, I'm just having fun. So here we go. I just took a sip. All right, and we're going to get started. Okay, so the number one thing you really need to do when relamping pretty much anything is the wonderful glass of hot to warm water. This is now warm because I've been waiting so long to get this video started that it's just gotten rather tepid. Okay, but you really want to soak it. And there's another reason that I've already spoken of as to why you want to get the plastic warmed up. And that is, it will help soften those teeth, okay, a little bit, because it'll sort of soften the plastic. The other suggestion I'm going to make is sometimes people understand, like me, I'm stupid, that more is more. No, not when it comes to the temperature of water, okay? I have actually done boiling hot water fresh out of the microwave, and what ends up happening often is things warp or you get discoloration, especially on colored plastics like this. You'll get a white film on it, and oh God, it looks awful, and it never comes off. So don't use boiling water. Just try to use the hottest tap water you can have. Now, see, I don't really need to do that right now because, see, I've already disassembled this one in order to make it easier for this video. I wanted to have it sort of pre-prepared. So you see, oh, there goes the tube. And that's the main reason. You see, this is an oil tube. I bought this from one of the group members on our page. It was a burned out one, so I got it. And I did it intentionally because I had no burned out ones. And I thought, well, it's a pretty blue tube too, because blue oils are hard to find. So I went ahead and I bought this intentionally. Then I screwed it up, breaking one of these teeth off. Okay, so here we go. Everybody wants to know, all right, how do you get these apart? Okay, there are two rules of thumb. Here's rule number one. Two ways of trying to get them apart. This is an antique glass Bayer aspirin bottle. I mean, this is probably from the 50s, maybe the 40s. And all old lighting guys swear by these, that these are the way to go, okay? And the reason why is because for C6, anyway, this is for C6, not C7, okay? You can push this on, and you see where it snugs right up to those teeth? See how it snugs up? And then you just sort of start working it and pushing it. The one thing I also did, my bottle is really not good. I need to find a better one. You see how rough that surface is? This should really be kind of shiny so that the teeth and stuff will glide on it. So what I did with mine, since it was really rough, I actually took a candle and ran wax on it so it is a little waxed. You got to remember that when you're manhandling these teeth, okay, you're going to end up really taking a chance of breaking them. So, see, so since I have a tooth missing, I'm going to start here. And hopefully with the missing tooth, I can work my way around. So you kind of jiggle and move. I hate doing it this way because I always end up breaking teeth doing this. But once you hear it sort of snap, then you can start, see how I've got them pushed in there? Then you sort of start working the pressure around so that it gets the other ones. And this just isn't going to happen, guys. It's too hard to get this to open, but I think I've got it there. I think that did it. Let's see. See how most of them are now pushed in? At this point, you could take like an X-Acto blade, which I had here, and I lost it. Let's try my paring knife here. And try to slip it under while pushing. You want to try to keep pushing this ring down. Most of these are sort of in the popped open position. And here we go. And you can kind of wobble around, and you can use your blade then to sort of push the ones that didn't quite get pushed in a little bit. And see how I've almost got it? It's really hard. My camera's not doing really well. And look, there you go. And it's off. So that's how you get them apart in process one. Now, here's process two. And it comes with a fancy French word, okay? One of the guys on our page used this word, and I love it. It's called the old garrote method, where you take a thin wire. Here, I don't know if you can pick up. See that thin wire? And you get it to wrap around up in here. Where's my thumb? Okay, look. right up in here, there and there. See, this one's really coming apart because I've already taken it apart a dozen times. So the teeth have really gotten weakened. But it's a good thing because otherwise I could be an hour here showing you this. All right, so the best thing to do, in this case, I have one tooth missing. So the best thing for me to do is to try to slide this wire up and under that plastic base. And it won't go. There. I've got it you see how it's just sort of slipped under? Okay, and this is going to take great practice, guys, okay? All right, and you got to go under the ring. A lot of people are like, ooh, I'll just put it under the teeth. Well, you can't, because then you can't remove the bottom, okay? It gets in the way. But you see how I'm working it around, and then you crisscross it, okay? Like that. So now I've got it pulled and crisscrossed. Now I made this homemade garrote, okay? So you see I've got a loop at this end, and I've got a loop at this end over here. And now I can go and I can pull. And do you see how those teeth are just retracting in? And then you got to try to figure out how you're going to get it off of there. But I've kind of got it pulled tight. You could try to use a fingernail and then pull it like that, and off it comes. Wah-wah. All done. Now, again, this was really easy. You guys and girls, I'm sorry, all need to know that this is hard, okay? It looks easy on this video because guess what? I have a tooth missing on each one. So, you know what? We're going to try a harder one. Now, I know I'm not showing you a bubble light. I'm showing you a Paramount Star, but use your imaginations and just imagine there's a beautiful tube coming out of the top of this, because essentially this base is the same as that bubble light base. So I've got this pulled out of the warm water, and I'm going to try to garrote this one. Okay, we'll see. And there, did you see it slide under? It slid under right up here, right here, it slid under. And the problem is it wants to keep sliding out. So you always have to sort of keep pressure on it. Okay, and you work your way around. But you see, while you're working, it tends to want to slip out. So here we go. I'm sorry that my camera's not working, you know, that it's... I'm going too close and too far away, but I'm trying to let you see detail in how this is done here. And I think I've got it crisscrossed pretty good. Let's see, are they pulling in any at all? So you got to look too. See, like right here, it's still not quite all the way under. And it's sometimes, you got to remember, these lights are melted. And a lot of times they don't want to let you get that wire under. Oh, by the way, everybody's going to ask me, oh, well, what wire are you using? Is that just simple craft wire? Actually, no. I have tried using simple craft wire, and it never seems to work. There, did you hear it snap? I think that was it finally going all the way in. And it keeps snapping, so I think I'm finally getting it in. Okay, and I don't know if I'm going to get this off or not. Oh, there it goes, and there, and you're off. I've heard of people taking a garrote like this and twist tying it, so you're wondering what the garrote is. Let me show you. Oh, wow, I really ruined this one already because my knots came up. But here's a loop at the end of this wire here, and here's another loop right here. And what I did was I put electrical tape on it to give it a little buffer. You could maybe put little cloths on it, because when you pull at high strength like this, that wire will cut right through your skin. So you have to be careful. So you're asking, well, what did you make the garrote out of? Here it is. You probably might be familiar with this if you're an old timer like me. Young people might not, but it's braided picture frame wire or picture framing wire that you put on the back of a print or an oil painting to hang on a nail. Okay, and what I did for that garrote, I just took one of these heavy-duty steel wires and unwound it. I just kept unwinding it, and I pulled it off, and then I made my garrote. So I find that this wire will not break. There's that wonderful brass wire that people use for, what do you call it? like jewelry making and beading. And it's beautiful wire. It's brass. You could pull on that like thread and it'll break. A lot of people are thinking, well, hell, I could do that with thread. Same thing. The thread will break. It's not strong enough. Another item you might be able to try is, I believe it's called monofilament. I grew up in the country, so we call it fishing line. You could try fishing line or monofilament. I don't know if it's going to hold because I've never really tried it. So there you go. All right, now let's get on with getting this done. Okay, so now Paramount was one of the only companies that put a solder blob right here. Can I get up close enough? Well, there it is. Right there. See that solder blob? Right there to hold this light bulb in. So see, the light bulb never spins, unlike a Royal. You know, Royal bubble lights spin all the time. So you have to figure out how you're going to get that blob off. One of the fastest ways, and darn it, I don't have my, oh, here it is, my X-Acto blade, is if you have a fresh new X-Acto blade that's really sharp, you can kind of put it down in there like this, and just try to keep snapping at it until it snaps. I've also gone and, started working it like this, and sometimes they've just flown off. So you got to be careful because they'll fly into your eye. You might want to wear goggles trying to do that. I've never done it with the solder gun, but here is a solder gun, and I did do it today just to see how well it'll work. And unfortunately, I don't have my sponge here to clean my tip off, but let's see how fast I can get this to melt. Anyway, you got to melt and get rid of that, and you may have to bang it a few times to get the lead to come off. Unfortunately, I can't see what I'm doing really well, and I need to have a clean point. Where's my sponge? Oh, now my sponge is all gone. Here, I'll use this sponge. You really need to have a clean blade. Look how that blade, that point just shined up. That's where you get your best heat transfer, is when you clean up your blade. So let me try, and I'll do it again. Sadly, I'm going to have to do it way down here. So I hope you can see what I'm doing, because I need to put it on a flat surface. So let me see if I can get it to melt. You got to hold it on that lead until that lead gives way, and hopefully it will. And then what you can do is kind of swipe it away like that. Swipe it away. And once it gets liquid, you keep swiping it away. I can feel it, the heat coming in through the plastic. And yet, this lead that they used is really strong stuff. It's super hard lead. And you just keep going until you can try to get that out of there and get that light bulb out. It still isn't coming. But you can also use your blade to keep scraping. I should have prepared one of these. And you know what? I already have one prepared. So you get the idea, right? I mean, I can spend an hour, and you're going to be watching an hour-long video. I can do this with, at my own leisure later, getting that off. So once you've gotten that off, you're going to remove the light bulb. Sometimes you can break the light and try to remove it from this way, pulling it this way out. But it's really hard, and it doesn't really ever want to give it up. And the problem with doing that is these bases have been heated many times, and they're brittle. And if you put a lot of pressure on it, guess what? It's going to break and snap, and then you got to epoxy it and do all kinds of crazy junk. So I'm just going to quickly show you how to finish. All right, now you're going to say, oh, where do I get the light bulbs? Okay, everybody wants to know. All right, I'm going to use, because it is a bubble light, I'm going to use a Tom Carlisle bubble light. You all wonder what they are. Tom Carlisle is a person that made these beautiful bubble lights in about the 80s or 90s, 1990s, 1980s. And he worked with GE to create probably one of the most superior bubble light lamps known to man. And that's what these are. You'll know them by the wonderful brass shank on them. They also have a long shank right here. So that allows for the shank to drop out of the base here, okay, and give you plenty of space, all right? Now, what's more readily available, and if you need to know where to get them from Tom Carlisle, you're going to have to email me, and I'll give you his information, okay? But you can get these online, on eBay. There are several sellers There's one called Susie Snowflake, one called Mr. Goodlight, and one called Nemo Jonathan. They all sell this same light bulb. What I have discovered, I hate to do this, I hate to damn them, but these light bulbs, although they're super cheap, really, if you think about it, they're super cheap. They just don't get hot enough. These are 4.5 watt. I swear they're only 3. They're kind of dim, and they really, every time I've changed a bubble light out, I've never been able to get it to bubble. So, but I've heard other people have great results. So I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I'll let you guys make your decisions. If you're going to relamp a bubble light, I'm going to suggest a Carlisle bubble light for that. Now, if you're going to relamp a Paramount Star, okay, then these would be perfect because they're not real bright. They'll probably not melt anymore, and they'll probably work really good. And they'll last a good long time. That's a good thing about these. These last a fairly good long time. Although some of the guys on our page have all said that they've had burnouts with these within one Christmas season. So, it's up to you. You do what you have to do. You get the light bulb you want. If you need Tom Carlisle's information, contact me through Gmail or through the through the video here. Okay. So anyway, so you're like, whoa, how do you put it together? It's real simple. You take, hold on, I have to reach over here and get my glue because I didn't bring it. I use Aleene's glue. I use, what is this? Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. That's what I use. I know some people believe in using silicone. You can use silicone. I find that silicone is nearly impossible to remove if you ever have to redo it again. So it's a mess to try to clean up, and you get it all over you. It's really, ugh. I'm not a big fan of silicone, but I'll tell you what, it holds. It holds big time. All right, so you put the glue on the base, you slide this in, and I'm sorry I got so messy, but I don't have time. I want to try to get this video done. I have no rag here. Okay, so there. Now you stick it in, and then I suggest to people to spin it around. I don't know if you can see, but I'm spinning it. And look, did you see how it dropped down? It finally found what I call the joy spot. It's where the soldered blob on this light bulb has found the little hole right here, and it just has enough room to slide down and give you the full length. Once you've got that done, it's your bubble light. Look, I could put this right on here if I want, and finish my blue light, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the star that it came from, like that. And look, it just slid right on, but the reason it slid on is because it's missing a tooth, so it's real easy to slide on. Now, if you find that yours keep coming apart after you're missing a tooth or two, because inevitably, if you're trying to change these out, you're going to end up with broken teeth. I don't care how good you are, you're going to end up with broken teeth. I have heard of guys who save the teeth that break. Okay, they save the teeth, and they are somehow epoxying them back on. I've done it once where I epoxied a tooth on, and I backed it with a piece of like paper clip wire. It took forever to get it done, but once it did, that tooth held on and stayed on. So that's another sort of kind of handy hint. Anyway, as you can see, I got it back together. I'm trying to think if there's anything else y'all need to know about Paramount bubble lights. This is the same process as the Christopher Radko video that I have, but instead I went a little more into depth. Now, chances of you finding a 100-year-old Bear aspirin bottle, especially a nice one with a really good smooth hole in it, they're hard. I don't think you could just go to eBay and punch in Bear aspirin bottle. If you can, yay, go for it. But then again, don't be surprised if you get it and it doesn't work. So you may need to find new bottles that will work. Now, in that Radko video where I show you how to do a Radko, the Radkos are designed the same as the Paramount, but they're C7, so the base is larger. I showed you how to use this. This is a probiotic bottle. What is it? True Biotics, like aluminum bottle. Oh, look, and it's by Bear. They seem to like working with lighting people, the bear people do. Anyway, and so that's what I used. I could also use the garrote method. That's up to you. All I can say is you got to remember when you're pulling the garrote, you can't over pull, because the next thing you know, you're going to snap all those teeth too. So you can't apply too much pressure, but you got to apply enough to get it to go. I think that's it. This video is over with. I'm sorry for being so close and so far. You know, I think the wine had something to do with it. Anyway, cheers to everybody. Have fun with all of your relamping. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and ask. Okay, folks, I'm back again. Sorry, like a bad penny. I got this beautiful video done and realized I didn't even show you really how to finish the project I started on. So now I have removed the old light bulb from the base. I have cleaned the base. I got that light bulb out. Trust me, getting that solder off of that old light bulb is impossible. And you know what? I don't have to show you how to do it. It'll take hours to show you, just like it's going to take you a long time. So you're just going to have to get that old lead spot off of that light bulb so that you can remove this carefully. I have now done that, and I've removed it. I've gotten it off, and I now have my Tom Carlisle light bulb, and I've cleaned out all the old gunk out of the inside with a little bit of sandpaper, a little bit of toothbrush, a little bit of soaking, and boom. It's now perfectly pristine clean. I don't know why this camera is just not zeroing in on this, but there it is. Anyway, I'm done. I got to get this video finished or it's going to be another hour long. So here we go. I'm putting my glue around the base, and I'm trying to do it a little bit more carefully. Okay, and then you got to take your light bulb with the glue. Try not to get the glue all over the glass, and then insert it. Okay, spin it until you hear it snap into place, which it doesn't want to do. So here we go. And you'll feel it drop. There it is. Did you see it drop? It dropped down. It's done. It's finished. Okay, that's all done. So now you can snap your top half back on to the base by lining up those tabs, those tooth tabs, with the bottom. I have the worst time doing this. And push. And did you hear it? It all snapped. Okay, now don't push your light bulb back up in. Make sure you've got it pulled all the way down by pulling on it. See the way I'm pulling and spinning it? All right, and now it's on, okay? And now you're going to take your glue and put the tube in. All right, so there are many different rules of thought. A lot of people just like to put the glue right here on the bottom and stick it in. That's good. That works. It adheres it to the light bulb quite nicely. Other people, like on our Facebook page, have said, oh no, that adds a buffer of like insulation that keeps the heat transfer from happening. So I'm going to show you sort of kind of their way to do it, okay? And here it is. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue just on the side edge of the tube, and I'm going to do it in like 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then that way your bottom is completely clean and there's no glue going onto the light bulb, and then you just reinsert it into the hole. Okay, you're going to take a paper towel or something and try to get that excess glue off. Okay, there it is, done, and hopefully it's nice and clean and there's no glops of glue. And at that point, your light bulb's done. You can let it dry, or if you're anal like me and you just got to get it done immediately, you can just go ahead and screw this into a socket and light it and let that dry it. And oh well, I just tried. Here, let me try it again. There we go. We have a socket, and I'm going to put it in real quick, and I'll show it to you lit, and then we'll be done. Okay, so here it is. There it is. And then you can let it dry like that into a socket, and it's done. Okay, guys, I hope that's it. I hope I've given you everything you need. Good luck, and remember, you can always reach out to me through the video or reach me through Gmail. You'll find it through the YouTube link. And there you go. You're done and you're finished. Okay? Best of luck.